what is today, March the 26th in 2015. We're at the Davis County Museum in the archives room with Don Cosby. We're waiting for a Amish bus tour to get here, and they'll be here later. Don, you're publishing a new book, aren't you? What's the name of this new book?
It is Legends, Legacy, and Folklore.
Legends, Legacy, and Folklore of Davis County?
Right.
Okay, and you're getting that published, and I think I read on Facebook that you're putting it out for the same price as your first book.
Yeah, at least at first, because of course, the price that's built into the production of a book is based on a number of factors. And one of the things is the number of pages that it is, the number of pictures that you want put in it, and so there's. Since I don't know exactly how big it will be yet, I don't know how many pages it's going to be. It's going to be a little difficult for me to think, but I think probably it'll be the same price, really.
Okay, and they can order that through you?
Right. I will guarantee that the same price as the first book, which is $18.95 plus tax. That's $20.22. And of course, if it has to be mailed out of town, then there would be postage, and the postage on one book is $2.69. So
okay.
So it's we're going to try to stay within that same price if we can.
If you send any orders to the Davis County Historical Society, you have to make a check out to Don Cosby. So we're not. I assume you'll let us try to sell some for you, but all of it's going through Don Cosby. And I know one of the topics that you're talking about in the book is the Ratton murder, which, if anybody doesn't know what that is, that was when Bud Stone killed the Rattons back in 1893. And he killed 6 of them, didn't he?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
He killed the parents and 3 children and grandma, and that was down in Harrison Township. It was one of the more infamous crimes here in Davis County that we ever had. They ended up hanging Mr. Stone, I think, for his trouble up at the federal penitentiary in Terre Haute, if I remember correctly.
No, it was in Jeffersonville.
Jeffersonville,
where the state penitentiary was at that time.
Okay, down in Jeffersonville.
The only he was the first that it was ever, as far as I know, the only one that was legally hanged in the state of Indiana. Now, there were a number of people lynched, by that time, but he was the only one that was legally hung. Terrible, terrible murder that was written about all over the United States, even in detective magazines at the time, and the press called it the crime of the century, and of course it's just a few miles south of Washington at the time.
So what other topics are you going to hit on in your book?
Well, I had, as you know, Vince, whenever we took the tour, bus tour, one of the most interesting topics of discussion was the strange magnetic point in Oak Grove Cemetery, which is kind of a lot of people read the article several years ago when I published that, but since then I have updated that with some additional information, and I had so many people want copies of that article at the time. Of course, it's difficult, if you do for one, you have to do for the other, for everyone. Mm-hmm. And so it's difficult to draw a line and say, no, I'm not going to do it. I want anybody that's interested in anything like that, I want them to have it. That's, of course, the reason why I wrote the book. But anyway, that's probably the largest individual story within this new book. And
Then you correct me on that house on April Road. It wasn't built by Teddy Roosevelt, but it was built by the ambassador to England named Bingham,
that's right.
who was involved with the Louisville Courier Journal. And he was also somehow connected to the Grahams. So if you want to find out more about all this stuff, we'll be looking for this book, and we'll have it here at the museum. And I know Don's taking orders on Facebook also, and there's going to be a lot of interest in it. And so hopefully it will sell out like his other book. He has gone through 3 printings on the other book, and 4 printings on the other book. And we have a copy of that book here in the archives room with my favorite poem in it that I can never not read that poem enough. And if you want to know what it is, you'll have to come in and see me. So I'll talk to you later.
Oh, by the way, I need to tell you also that I've gotten so many requests for the first book, in that it has been sold out for several months. I decided to print more copies, so those will be available within the next 2 weeks.
A fifth?
No, this is the 4th printing.
Fourth printing. Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah.
All right.
If anybody sends a check, all of the information is on Facebook for that, and my mailing address, and
the people in Boston complained Don for their bad winter because he swore up and down he would never print that 4th printing, and apparently hell has frozen over and it's spread all the way to Boston.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.